are a school or a school teacher, you are having the worst day of your life. You, in fact, I would go as far as to say, you 100% are finding out that all of the crap that you are trying to throw has all failed. Trump defunded Harvard and is moving those funds around to better places. And in other news, a whole bunch of school teachers actually got arrested for having children and having child porn on their phones and contributing to getting their students to rob places for protest purposes. It's a bad day for teachers everywhere, and it's a good day for me who likes making content. Also, in other news, update on the Buffalo schools situation. The Unsubscribed podcast just released an update where they essentially went through lots of information, apparently, and have tons of receipts, and they're actually winning. So we're going through that. If you are unaware, I've already covered this in the past, and I will be covering that a little bit more today. But first, we have to talk about Harvard. Donald Trump tweets in his glorious orange voice, "Why isn't Harvard saying that almost 31% of their students are from foreign lands? And yet those countries, some not at all friendly to the United States, pay nothing towards their students' education, nor do they intend to. Nobody told us that. We want to know who those foreign students are." All right, I'm betting right now they're either fundamentalist Islamist or Chinese CCP agents. All right, I'm just dropping that in. That's my bet. That's the 31%. All right, I'm just calling it immediately. "A reasonable request, since we give Harvard billions of dollars, but Harvard isn't exactly forthcoming. We want those names and countries. Harvard has $52 billion. By the way, Harvard is sitting on $52 billion. Use it and stop asking for the federal government to continue granting money to you. This is exactly what everyone voted for. Everyone voted for this. This is a colossal W. Fuck the school system. Fuck the universities. They are pushing propaganda. They are pushing bullshit. They are annoying. 52 million, not 52 billion. I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic. In other news, I am considering taking $3 billion of grant money away from a very anti-Semitic Harvard, W, and giving it to trade schools across our land. What a great investment that would be for the USA, and so badly needed. This is the biggest W ever. This is the biggest W literally ever. Unbelievable W. Yes, Harvard is a prick school for pricks. Pricks, communists, and Islamic extremists, where they push insane ideologies on people. They're loud, they're annoying. For those of you unaware what went on in Harvard, essentially, there was a Harvard meeting in Congress. I showed this in a previous video, where essentially the person in Congress asked the lady, it's like, do you condemn bullying of Jews in Harvard? And she's like, no, I don't condemn bullying Jews in Harvard. This was in Congress, and everyone freaked the fuck out. So this is a massive W. Also, trade schools need the money. Trade schools are fucking great. Welders, welding schools, mechanics, like, fuck yes, baby. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This would be an unbelievable W. We need more carpenters. We need more electricians. We need more plumbers. These are the people that build society, not the pricks, the 31% of people that we are paying for with our tax dollars. Right? Why are we paying for 31% of Harvard students that are coming from other countries? Miss me with that bullshit. In other news, we are still waiting for the foreign students list from Harvard so that we can determine, after a ridiculous expenditure of billions of dollars, how many radicalized lunatics, troublemakers all shouldn't be let back into our country. Harvard is very slow in the presentation of these documents, and probably for good reason. The best thing Harvard has going for it is that they have shopped around and found the absolute best judge for them. But have no fear, the government will, in the end, win. As Donald Trump tends to do, winning is one of the things he seems to be incredibly good at. Absolutely. So I wanted to go through a little bit of insane teacher drama over the last 2 days. All right, this is 2 days of content. You don't understand how fucked up the school system is. Not just the political, ideological bullshit that Harvard's pushing, all that shit. Not just all that insane shit, but dude, this is a teacher, a professor at the University of Vermont.
The business owner's argument seems to be you're feeding people who've done bad things.
I don't know what to tell you, there's no volume. Frick. Anyway, it's not really super relevant, but this is an economics class teacher that is celebrating shoplifting and says it's okay because everyone could do it. Everyone does it. This is a person in higher education. I don't know why. Oh, wait.
The business owner's argument seems to be...
Is it working? Hold on.
You're feeding...
Am I just retarded? I'm just retarded.
The business owner's argument seems to be you're feeding people who've done bad things. Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I've done bad things. And we all have. And they're also concerned about fucking shoplifting. Okay, first of all, what I'm not gonna say in there, everybody fucking shoplifts! Everybody to talk to, it's homeless people who get caught, who get blamed for it, who get blamed for the problem. But oh my god, I teach a UVM class to 137 students about the economy, and I was asking how people get things that they don't pay for, because we're going to talk about non-market economy, and one student in front of 137 others said, I shoplift things.
Is that not insane? Is that not the craziest thing you've ever seen in your entire life? Like, oh my god, this is a teacher in a university. What is going on? Why is everyone retarded? But anyway, that's the best teacher that we're going to be looking at today. In other news,
You say a Clemson University professor is facing charges. He's accused of sharing child sexual abuse material. Jeffrey Townsend is accused of possessing and distributing the material. Deputies say a tip led them to
what the
Townsend.
fuck, man?
They say he serves as a professor at Clemson University and lives in Anderson County. We have reached out to Clemson.
Yeah, suspiciously enough, in Clemson County, the same school, when you want to select your gender, these are the options they give you. Agender, cis female, cis male, gender non-conforming, gender queer, intersex, intersex man, intersex woman, non-binary, other gender identity, questioning, trans man, trans woman, transgender, two-spirit. Two-spirit! These are the options for genders in this school, and this is the teacher from the school that was arrested for sharing child porn with his students. Allegedly. But don't worry, guys, because you think him sharing child porn with his students is the worst thing that he's done. Oh, you absolute buffoon. Oh, you kumquat of a girl. That's not it! It gets worse!
A former Clemson professor has been arrested and charged again. Anderson
Again!
County deputies say Jeffrey Townsend has been charged with more than 10 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor.
That's our guy.
The charges and the initial charges from his arrest
Nice.
in April bring the total to 20.
Let's go.
Officials say the
Man is speedrunning. 20 different charges of sexual exploitation against minors on top of the child porn shit. So yeah, many such cases, as they say. I don't know, man. Bro identifies as a retard, I guess. Two spirits, I suppose, are not doing well. Anyway, in other news, this is a climate scientist and professor at Penn University that appears to be calling to kill Trump and Trump officials. That's right. Look at this tweet. Breaking news, a federal judge blocked Trump administration from carrying out Trump's executive order. And what does he say? If Trump doesn't comply, we are in Second Amendment territory. So what does that mean? Second Amendment territory, huh? What's that supposed to mean, bro? Second Amendment territory. He's saying to kill Trump. All right, can we not play these games, please? Everyone uses these cute code words and these cute words and these cute funny words. He's saying to kill Trump, all right, in my opinion, and that's what he's saying. All right, so let's miss me with that shit. All right, stop. Anyway, introducing the next character of today's fun story. Highland Park, Michigan teacher Vincent Weaver accused of grooming and sexually assaulting a child. He allegedly snuck into a school event disguised as an elderly woman while on suspension for a sex toy falling out of his bag in class. What is happening, guys? What are we doing? Black man in trouble. Like, holy shit. Once the sex toy fell out of his bag in class, he should have never come back, ever. But no, they let him back. So, I wanted to say that this is an epidemic. This is actually an epidemic. I don't understand how this has been happening for so long. Trump wants to defund the Department of Education, and I am completely on this man's fucking side here, bro. Completely on his side. So when I saw the updates of the Buffalo school system about how they were covering up abuses, I fully believe all of it. It's an epidemic. People in my chat were saying they didn't believe me about the Harvard people admitting that they don't like Jews.
Let me ask you this. You are president of Harvard, so I assume you're familiar with the term intifada, correct?
I've heard that term, yes.
And you understand that the use of the term intifada in the context of the Israeli-Arab conflict is indeed a call for violent armed resistance against the state of Israel, including violence against civilians and the genocide of Jews. Are you aware of that?
That type of hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
And there have been multiple marches at Harvard with students chanting, quote, "There is only one solution, intifada revolution," and, quote, "globalize the intifada." Is that correct?
I can't believe her last name is Gay.
That's
thoughtless,
awesome. Reckless, and hateful language on our campus. Yes.
So based upon your testimony, you understand that this call for intifada is to commit genocide against the Jewish people in Israel and globally, correct?
I will say again, that type of hateful speech
what a bitch.
Is personally abhorrent to me.
Right.
Do you believe that type of hateful speech is contrary to Harvard's code of conduct, or is it allowed at Harvard?
It is at odds with the values of Harvard.
Can you not say here that it is against the code of conduct at Harvard?
We embrace a commitment to free expression.
Oh
even
my God,
of
these
views
losers
that are objectionable, offensive, hateful.
Bro, it's like kill all Jews around the world. And she's like, listen, it's a little objectionable, all right?
It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment.
So it's only once the genocide against Jews happens that she'll be against it.
Speech not cross that barrier. Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
When
you testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada.
Can you imagine if a white guy was making this argument in the place of Miss Gay?
Is that speech according to the code of conduct or not?
We embrace a commitment to free expression
What
and give a wide berth to free expression, even of views that are objectionable.
You and I both know that's
offensive.
not the case. You were aware that Harvard ranked dead last when it came to free speech. Are you not aware of that report?
Annihilated! Anyway, broken NPC dialogue tree, for real. Terrorists supporting terrorist sucking fucking cocksuckers. Absolute losers. Miss Gay, get fucked. And anyway, Harvard is currently getting fucked, and Trump is absolutely dumpstering them. Now, before we get too deep into the video, allow me to remind you that you do not hate the mainstream media enough. Over the last week, Donald Trump announced his big, beautiful bill, which would be decreasing the prices of drugs from 30% to 80% across the board. He pressured Qatar to get an American-Israeli hostage out of a Hamas dungeon, and he made historic deals in the Middle East with Saudi Arabia. If you were looking at right-wing media, you would see in-depth looks at gigantic victories. It's been talking about how Big Pharma is actually threatened by Trump's pharmaceutical cuts, but if you look at mainstream left-wing media, it is a barren wasteland, talking about Trump receiving a jet from Qatar, and how even though egg prices have fallen, that's actually bad somehow. It's because of this mismanaged media system that I decided to partner today with Ground News. I reached out to Ground News because they take thousands of news stories from around the world and lays them out in one dashboard and adds context on each source's bias, factual reliability, and most importantly, they will show you if the narrative is being controlled by corporate media or independent voices. Ground News even gives you the ability to immediately see stories that aren't being reported by either side of the political spectrum, and also show you exactly which stories are being told by who and which stories are being disregarded because, well, it doesn't fit some arbitrary political framework in their blind spot feed. I use Ground News to research my videos, and I am so happy with this partnership, so definitely get the Vantage plan for 40% off using my link in the description or going to ground.news/Nux. Back to the chaos. So I wanted to do a bit of a deep dive onto the school system here. It's very good fun. It's very fun. Anyway, so for those of you unaware, the Unsubscribed podcast is a podcast by a lot of really cool dudes. They come together, I like them, and they basically exposed how the Buffalo school system has been covering up some really scary shit in regards to defending children. So, and in regards to potentially abusing children. So, anyway, they went on this little rabbit hole. I've covered this in the beginning, but this actually got big. It went on the news, and apparently they came back with receipts, and apparently they are suing the government. So I am very excited for this. People told me I needed to watch their newest upload from the 20-minute mark to the hour-minute mark. So lock in, boys and girl. Apparently this gets really heavy. The rest is like intros and outros, but this is like meat and potatoes for 40 straight minutes. So fuck yes, rip, the goddamn school system apart. I support these guys completely. Of course, I will link them in the description. Absolutely support them. Holy shit, this is not going to be fun, but we're doing it because someone's got to report on the retards of the world, and that's going to be us today.
Administration is intentionally doing it.
I mean, you're 2 decades into your career at this point.
Right, so this is him interviewing a teacher.
And you've never been written up in 20 years.
Never. All of a sudden, instantly. Getting called down to the administrator's office. And the odd thing about these write-ups, they weren't anything. They had no backing. It was just to intimidate me. I mean, it just got crazy. I just pulled it up before I got on with you, and I have this document. It's like every other.
Holy shit! So they got in touch with like teachers and everything. They got teachers. They got in touch with everybody. Dude, they are cooking.
Today we are getting called down.
But you should watch my previous video on all this if you want to actually see like the intro on the Buffalo's system. But I don't think you need to because apparently they released crazy receipts on all the shit that's happening.
And I got to the point where my phone would ring in my classroom, and I would get sick and I would puke.
What?
Because I would literally go to the bathroom and puke because I was being tormented every day and supposed to teach kids at the same time.
God damn.
And it makes you physically ill because I'm not used to treating people this way. Ever. And I'll tell you what, it started then, and up until a month and a half ago, it has not stopped. They have not stopped retaliating against me, and it's almost gotten worse.
So a teacher speaks out on behalf of the students, and the entire system comes and clamps down on them. Yep, makes sense to me.
So what they're doing is they're coming out and making it seem like, we just want to burn everything to the ground and go after these teachers. We don't. Like, the teachers are great. It's just not even all of the administration. Some members in the administration and the culture that they've created are not safe, and it doesn't allow these teachers to do their jobs.
Which is really fun that you have teachers on the inside that are essentially like with telling you what FOIA requests to file and shit.
Oh yeah,
that's basically like they're giving you the exhaust port plans on the Death Star. Like, please, for the love of God, blow this up.
Well, the scariest part to me.
Dude, do you think the teachers want to deal with this? Like, dude, here's the thing. When someone becomes a teacher, it's for one of 3 reasons. Reason 1, they want to become a teacher because they want to mold the next generation, and they're good people that are giving to the next generation. Reason 2, they couldn't find another job. And reason 3, they're fucking freaks, and the system protects them. Obviously, you're going to have people in the first category.
Is every single, with the exception of like 1 or 2, and the 1 or 2 that I've talked to, the only reason they're not terrified of losing their job is because the school board has already gone after them repeatedly and tried to fire them and lost in court.
Correct. Nice.
The gentleman that we've already showed the clip of at that school board meeting, that was a union rep. I forget what instance it was, but he got into it with the Buffalo School Board over some safety stuff.
Oh, shit.
And they put him on paid leave for 2 years while they tried to fire him.
What the fuck?
Including, because he was the head of the social studies department. So not only did they put him on paid leave, they put the entire social studies department, which I believe was 5 teachers in total, on paid leave for a year, and tried to fire all of them.
Because
and by
they're
sheer
protecting
coincidence,
kids.
The other 2 social studies teachers of the 5 that they put on paid leave were the other 2 union reps for that school.
Almost like they're trying to union bust, which is
illegal.
Oh yeah, very not legal.
What the
and then they ended up losing in court, saying the teacher did absolutely nothing wrong. And the Buffalo School Board's people testifying on their behalf were found inadmissible in court, presumably because they got caught lying under oath.
About what?
I don't know exactly.
Don't worry, they're not going to get punished for lying under oath. They get away with that because, don't worry, the rich fucks at the top, they don't care. They don't care. I think that there's a conspiracy going on where they want to, where people actually want to fuck up children. Like, whatever. You don't want me to go on my whole conspiracy theory ass. Recently, the new Lilo and Stitch movie came out. The original Lilo and Stitch ended with, "Our Hannah means family and no one gets left behind." And then everyone was together and they were all friends. And the new Lilo and Stitch live action remake, you know how it ended? Spoilers. It ended with the sister going to college and putting the fucking main character in child protective services. Because the dream of going to college is more important than taking care of your family. Alright? So, to be honest, I think this is an agenda that's actually genuinely being pushed. Like, I'm not even kidding. I really think this is an agenda being pushed constantly. Right now, thank God we have feminism. So feminism now means you need a 2 income to support a family. So you have the mom and dad that are both working, and what do the kids do? What are the kids doing, guys? The mom and dad aren't home. Who's gonna raise the kids? Don't worry. The government will raise your kids for you. So when I see the way America is moving, with the school systems pushing the most heinous shit, the actual financial systems kind of force you to employ teachers and schools to teach your kids. When you have the social media landscape actually pushing this shit, it is frustrating as fuck. And no fucking shit. Kids are getting blasted. It's awful.
Exactly what? I have the court documents and you can see that like their testimony was deemed no good.
Wow.
And nothing happened because of that?
He ended up getting to keep his job.
No, but I mean like...
Bro lied under oath and kept his job in a school. Yep.
Lying under oath, there was no repercussions?
Why would there be?
Yeah, true.
It seems to be a recurring theme.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. If there is a mass layoff or they try that, understand why it's happening. It is the big cogs right now that are the issue. It's a lot of the times what happens is the big cogs at the top, you can't do anything. So they're just like, oh, replace these ones until we find team players. And then rinse, repeat until you do find team players. But right now, the goal of all this is to get rid of those fucking big cogs that are literally
The crazy thing is, I want to make this clear. I know the reason why I started with all my other examples of school shit that's going on is because this is a video that's talking about the Buffalo school system. I believe this is in every school system across the country, across the United States. I very much believe that.
Is of garbage.
Ed Dranch is a giant cog.
You know, his comments are still turned off on his Twitter.
Good.
They're going to have to be turned off for a while.
His phone number was on his Twitter for a while.
Well, it was like his business phone number, I think.
Yeah, that was an interesting call.
You know, maybe don't attack the podcast as trying to stick up for kids. And then,
like, you got to realize, like, dude, we know who the bad guys are. They're attacking the podcast that's defending children. Like, come on, brother. Come on. Wait, people aren't believing me that what I'm saying about Stitch? Okay, dude, it's a little tangent, but we have to do it. I'm sorry. Tiny tangent. We got to do it.
What about Ohana? He hasn't been here that long. Neither have I. Dad said Ohana means family. Huh? Ohana means family.
Aw.
Nobody gets left behind.
Aw, that's such a nice, wholesome message.
I know.
That's so wholesome.
I hate it when you use Ohana against me.
Why are you trying to go against me?
Don't worry. Live action.
Because we were left behind. I know. All that stuff sounds so nice. It sounds really nice to me too, but that is not reality. This is reality. And I need you to start living in it with me.
Very cool. Very cool. Yep. Reality is, we do leave family behind. Crazy how that happened. Look at that. In real life, we do leave family behind. Interesting, huh?
and double down when we quote you and post the entire minute-and-a-half opening of your video where you do that and go, well, no, that's not what I said.
It was taken out of context. I'm like, no, I watched the full fucking thing.
We played more of his original opening in that video straight than they did of my entire 20-something minute interview at Channel 7.
It's wild not to apologize.
They hate
I do
it.
not get that mindset.
I mean, you know my opinion. My opinion is that the mainstream media is floundering. They're dying. No one trusts them. So they're doing their absolute best to destroy the credibility of influencers. And people like, you know, the Unsubscribed Podcast or me or anyone else. They're trying their absolute best to delegitimize influencers because their entire careers are dying in front of their eyes.
Like, I wonder if I just came out and was like, hey, sorry, I messed up. How that might react. Or
even if he was just like, hey, clarify, just to clarify, I think, like, you know, these are very important allegations. I didn't mean to downplay it, whatever. Like, just take a little bit of accountability.
Yeah. My intent wasn't this. You don't even have to say I'm sorry. Yeah. My intent was to talk about the thing, and I hit on this thing first. I could have saved that for a later date. And our army would have been like, hold.
Hey, Brandon. Yes, Eli? When you think of business anniversary, for your .com.
Well, Rich was defamed.
I was defamed.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! They defamed them? Wait.
I can prove it. I built an entire case out for it.
Neat.
Neat,
very exciting.
He built Dude, please sue the fuck out of them. Sue the fuck out of them. Please, 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 please sue the fuck out of them.
So for all the lawyers out,
a Buffalo school system is their Hassan Piker.
This is called foreshadowing.
I'm conflicted because this news channel,
The Boulder, is conflicted about fighting a young blind girl.
Channel's been the least courteous to Rich, but they've also got the best journalist working for them. So it's kind of one of those cases where like Nate Benson works for Channel 2 WGRZ.
Dude, it's so crazy because I am also gathering evidence for a potential defamation lawsuit that I'm considering going through with about a certain large leftist political streamer that's been slandering me.
But everybody else that writes on it that isn't Nate Benson shits on Rich to the point that it's now defamatory, and I can prove it.
Oh!
In multiple articles, including YouTube videos that they put up, which I have saved, and news broadcasts.
Never mention this unless you have it saved, which I do.
Podcasts that they've aired, which I have saved, and news articles that they've printed, they've all claimed that Detective Richard High is on the Brady list.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. You know what the Brady list
Which is incorrect.
Isn't the Brady list like, it's a list for like shitty cops that fuck up or something?
Yeah.
Whatever, I'm sure he'll explain it.
That's what I have.
Well, would you like to explain what the Brady list is?
The Brady list means that you're on like the no-fly list when it comes to the district attorneys for when you go and take the stand to testify. It specifically states that you have credibility issues, which I know. I've never lied on the stand, and all of my internal affairs or complaints never has to do with my evidence collection, my time on the stand.
That is
my
defamation.
Integrity, or
that
lying
really is
about any
defamation.
sort of charges that
oh
I
my
put
God.
on. So I have zero credibility issues on the stand.
Untrustworthy
is my
cops that
history.
can't testify.
But them saying that I'm on the Brady list would say that I do have credibility issues and that I cannot testify because of those issues.
It's a pretty big allegation.
I would say it's significant and would look very poorly in my career because a detective not being able to testify is significant.
That would be
very
crazy.
damaging.
And we put it right.
I guess the issue is here, he has to prove damages. That's the biggest, most annoying part of defamation lawsuits.
Here, right? We can show the clips of them saying that right here.
Yeah, I have them.
The allegations made on the Unsubscribed podcast by Buffalo Police Detective Richard High have prompted the Buffalo School Board to seek an outside investigator.
Oh, great,
Officer
yeah.
High alleges that
I find myself innocent of all charges, Your Honor.
the district failed to report an attempted abduction, sexual assault, child abuse, and destroyed evidence.
Yep,
which
those are the allegations, that they're covering up sexual assaults of children. Apparently they have more evidence of this shit.
she discovered while working a case. Allegations that have outweighed High's status on the Brady list, which is a list of law enforcement officers whom the Erie County District Attorney's Office have found to have credibility issues.
So Channel 2 is the only one that even after it came out, that like, oh, he's actually onto something. When all the other news channels just started referring to him as SVU veteran detective Richard High, they would still put in the article, these allegations appear to outweigh his placing on the Brady list.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like just mad they have to admit that he's doing the right thing.
That's horrible.
Well, I have the Brady list. Guess who's not fucking on it?
Yeah, no shit.
Richard High. So claiming that somebody is so uncredible that they can't even testify in court under oath is a pretty big allegation, right? The problem with defamation is if I was going to sue you for it, I would have to prove that it wasn't a genuine mistake and that you did it maliciously.
Yeah,
Right?
I think is pretty easy to prove in this instance. They're trying to shut down a podcast that's calling out the sexual assault of children. That's not the problem. I think proving damages is going to be much harder.
So how would I be able to prove that?
Well,
that they
like
were going
other than would probably be able.
Oh, like an ongoing history? Cool. What if I trained an advanced AI to go through their entire website and catalog the top 10 officers in the history of the news source that they've written articles about? And Rich is the third most reported on cop in Buffalo history out of 800 police officers, and not a single article is even remotely charitable to Rich.
Some of them don't even have to do
That's
with
pretty
me,
weird.
but they bring me into the article to then defame me.
That's crazy! They bring him up out of nowhere just to slander the guy. Oh my God!
Anytime they get a chance to throw him under the bus.
I feel like this is literally watching Hassan Piker streams. Like, he'll be watching some random shit, and then he'll just bring me up out of nowhere, and he'll call me a pedophile or something. Like, it's abysmal. It's so annoying when you're on the shit list.
They do it. Okay, so I can prove that he's the third most reported on cop in Buffalo's history out of 800 cops, which to me says that you've got a wild hair up your ass and you're gunning for him. Okay, so I'm able to prove that you would lie on purpose because you don't like him, right? But then what's even harder is I then have to go out and I have to prove that he's not on the Brady list, which he isn't.
Okay.
And then what was the other facet? I have to prove.
You have to prove damages.
It wasn't a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake, which, you know, the evidence seems to imply that.
If they try to fix anything, it is Sunday, May 18th, 2025, when this comes out. I don't want them to be like, oh, look. See? Better
it wasn't there, yeah.
This is the exact date. 10
Luckily,
days, I will then enter again, just again.
I have it all saved.
Okay.
We have the Wayback Machine, fuckhead.
Yes.
I have it all saved. They're drunk. But like, then the real problem is like, okay, so I proved it was malicious. I proved
what a
that,
W.
You know, you are lying. And that was on purpose. You've got, you know, you maliciously did this to Rich. So then the problem is like, okay, well, it's just one cop. It's one detective at 800. How much is that really worth in a defamation case, right? But then you got to realize Rich is probably the most famous active serving cop in the world.
Probably, yeah.
Anybody think of another cop?
Yeah, no, he probably is, yeah.
Like active?
A cop with multiple millions of subscribers that's recognized nationwide and globally, who built his entire online persona around accountability, doing the right thing.
Wow, that could prove damages. Like, you could make the argument that if his content is being a honorable cop and they are flaming him, then his audience will turn away from him. Like, you could make that argument. But proving damages is always so difficult. Like, for example, that's the main thing that's stopping me from filing a lawsuit against Hassan for slandering me. It's mostly because I can't prove damages. I'm at the top of my career, motherfucker. So, like, how am I gonna prove that he damaged my brand by slandering me? It's really, really hard to prove in court.
And then you come out and you say that he's such a piece of shit that he can't testify under oath because he lies all the time. Seems like that'd be worth a lot of money in court.
Yeah, and also that proves a financial harm to your brand.
I wish Rich would come
that was the other part. That was the other part is I would have to prove financial harm.
Yeah.
Which would be tricky to do.
It is tricky to do.
Unless I got like 20 to 30 people to comb through every Reddit and Facebook post that's been out since this case broke.
Oh my God,
and took screenshots of hundreds of people parroting the same talking point that Rich is on the Brady list.
Holy shit.
Which came directly from them, from a credible news source. So now I can prove that it did harm his reputation.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know if that even counts as damages, though, in court. That's why defamation's annoying. Whatever. I want it to. I want him to win. I want this to happen. Sue the crap out of them. Please. Weaponize your autism, goddammit, and sue the fuck out of him, please. But, yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because, like, when it comes to damages, you need to prove monetary damages. I don't think reputational harm actually counts if it doesn't harm you financially in America, in court. But anyway.
If there's any lawyers that would like to take up this case.
Yeah, so I guess I'm saying...
I could get you lawyers, for sure. Absolutely. I could get you lawyers. Whatever, I'm sure he has an army of lawyers. He doesn't need me, but yeah, absolutely.
If I were Channel...
Listen, I'm Jewish. What can I say? I have 4,000 Jewish lawyer cousins. It comes with the territory.
Within like 48 hours of this video dropping, I would have a whole article apologizing to Richard Hyde. And when I say a whole article, I don't mean go back and change the article.
No. New articles.
Article.
Glaze this motherfucker.
WGRZ apologizes to SVU detective Richard Hyde for fucking lying, or I'm going to turn over all this evidence and then go to the kitchen and grab some popcorn while I watch him sue the dog shit out of you.
Oh my God.
Cheers.
Lord. Oh my
I'd like
God.
to see bad people get what they deserve.
Right?
I love the internet. This is what I love about the internet, bro. This is exactly what I love about the internet. How it's voices like this that get heard. It's the pundits on CNN and on all these fucking fake news broadcasts. They are jokes. No one trusts them anymore. No one believes them. No one gives a flying shit about them. It's the individuals. It's journalism done by YouTubers that actually matters right now. And that is insane.
You get what you deserve.
Well,
Hyde's allegations have outweighed his status on the Erie County District Attorney Office's database for law enforcement officers with credibility concerns. Even though he's not on it and never fucking was.
Quote,
Wow.
Channel 2 WGRZ.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
Oh, damn.
Whoa, you're being
And I know Reddit probably had a heyday just going through...
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I got hundreds. I got hundreds of comments parroting their false talking point where they defamed him. And I have the screenshots of all those comments already.
Get the popcorn!
I mean, if they don't want to apologize publicly with its own article and put it up on your fucking YouTube channel and the news broadcast, then I'm just going to turn it over, and I can prove that you've written about him the third most out of 800 cops over the course of his career. Nothing's ever been charitable. You throw him under the bus every chance you can get. I can prove he's not on the Brady list, and then I can prove that I have hundreds of comments of people parroting your false talking points to discredit him as, you know, defamation and harm to your credibility for the most famous cop in the world.
Holy
that
shit.
reputation's worth a lot of money. Up to you guys.
Harry, that fuckhead.
Nate Benson, sorry, you're a great journalist, but somebody else working at that news agency has it out to get him. I don't know if it's Ron Plants or the guy writing his scripts, but
dude, I love watching the mainstream media burn. You do not hate them enough. Oh my god.
They're going to cost that place a lot of fucking money unless they start eating some crow. So, see you soon. The Buffalo School Board is creating policies where it basically ties the hands behind the backs of the teachers that are trying to do the right thing. And I have multiple teachers, multiple interviews, I have hundreds of stories via written. But they all say the same thing. They've all attempted to do the right thing, and they've all been instructed by the school board that they're not allowed to do it.
That's crazy.
I've asked repeatedly, and nobody knows that this is actually written down, but every single teacher has told me this without me asking. They've all told me the same thing.
Oh, God.
Buffalo school teachers are not allowed to call 911.
That can't be true. Buffalo school teachers need to get, like, permission to call 911? What the actual fuck? I think that this is probably something that's nationwide. I'm glad we're looking into Buffalo here, but, like, this has to be nationwide. How is that even legal?
They have to talk to an administrator, and the administrator makes that call.
Don't worry, guys. The teachers, they don't need to call 911. They just need to get permission from Voldemort. Then they can call 911. Easy. Let's go, teachers. Why do you need to bother yourself with trivial things like calling 911 when your student is literally dying and getting raped? You should just simply go to Adolf Schmeckler, in charge of the administrative board. Ask him to call 911 for you. That is so fucked.
Jeez, Nick, does that ever come up in one of these stories where something happens and it could affect the health, welfare, and well-being of a child?
It sure does.
Wow.
Multiple times.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we can go into the THC gummy ones. So I've interviewed multiple people on that. I've interviewed the uncle of one of the boys that took the 500 milligram edible.
I missed that part. Wait, what? A kid took a 500 milligram edible of THC in school? What the fuck?
And he's very disappointed with the school board.
Yeah, no shit.
How do 500 milligram edibles just wind up on the hallway floor or the locker room floor?
Oh, this is new? This is breaking news? Okay, what the fuck?
In a middle school. And then why would a teacher pick them up and give them to children? Whatever, stupid shit happens.
What? A teacher gave them to children? Dude, the kid's lucky he didn't die. 500 milligrams of edibles could kill a kid easily.
Maybe that is happen. Maybe that did happen. That's not my overall issue with the thing. My issue is the school and their policies at the administrative level do not allow things to get addressed as quickly as they should for the safety of children.
That's crazy. Everyone cares about their cares about the school, cares about their reputation more than they actually care about the children. Holy shit.
Paramedics who I've talked to and I've interviewed.
Oh my god, he interviewed everyone. What a goat.
Quick, what is the age of the children? This is
11 and 12.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh my fucking god, it's a nightmare.
11 and 12. And 5 milligrams. 5 will wreck somebody that's never done it, especially when you weigh 80 pounds, 90 pounds. Now, 500 milligrams. Like, what would 50 do?
500 milligrams could definitely kill a 12-year-old.
I know what 500 does to an 11-year-old because they were hospitalized with resting heart rates of 130.
You said he found it on the floor?
He allegedly found it on the floor in the hallway or in the locker room, and I have a picture of the THC gummies. They resembled Sour Patch Kids, but as you can see, stony patch covered in weed.
They've got singular cyclops.
Yeah, but I could see how a kid doesn't notice that this is drugs, right? Like, you could totally see that.
Eyes.
It's singular cyclops eyes that in a colored version, they're very red, as if you'd been smoking weed.
Huh.
So, but granted, it does, if you're just taking a glance, maybe it does kind of look like Sour Patch Kids, and maybe it was all an accident. whatever. That guy should still be fired, but that's separate.
Absolutely. That is a level of negligence that should never, ever be allowed in a school. The guy should absolutely be fired. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about.
My issue is when the EMTs get called, the EMTs show up, and I've talked to the EMTs. They pull up to the school, and nobody will let them in. The doors are locked. Now, if a child is overdosing on an illegal drug, I would either A, have somebody sitting at the curb waiting for
You bring the kid to the front door, brother. To open the door immediately for the paramedics to get into the hospital immediately. Oh my God.
The EMTs to show up and then immediately take them to the children, or I would have the children outside waiting and hand them off.
Yeah.
Not what happened. Took the EMTs, I believe he said 8 to 10 minutes to find someone to let them into the building. And
dude, what the this is negligent like to an insane degree. This is negligent to like a wilder degree. The kid could have died. The teacher should be fired. And the took them 10 minutes to get to the kid once they were already at the school?
And nobody would even come to the doors. It was actually the security guard from the parking lot that came in, and the security guard's like, hey, what's going on?
No, dude, someone in my chat just said it's incompetent. It's worse than incompetent. I think people are willing, in the administrative department, they are willing to sacrifice the health of their students, willing to sacrifice them for the sake of their, reputation or whatever. Oh my Lord.
He had no idea. He had not been briefed on the issue. So
dude, these kids are in your school. They're in your care. They're relying on you to survive and grow. And you're fucking doing this shit?
Took them somewhere between...
Predators could get to the kids in the school faster than medics?
Between 15 to 20 minutes from arriving on the scene to get to the children that were overdosing on an illegal drug. And then once they got in there, the principal was apparently just didn't really give a shit.
What?
The school resource officer that was there comes up and is arguing with the EMTs like, well, do they really have to go to the hospital? They look fine.
What? After taking vitals on the children, which were not the best, the SRO showed up. Now, mind you, I'm all with law enforcement in Buffalo. They really help out on calls. I love them. This SRO looked me dead in the fucking eyes and said, do they have to go? They look fine. And they continued to try to talk me and my partner out of taking them. First, I was confused what was going on. But with this cover-up, it makes more sense. Holy shit.
And the EMT is like, yes, they're going to the hospital.
Oh my God.
So that was an issue. And then a patrol officer showed up on the call as well. And the SRO and the patrol officer got into like an argument about why that guy shouldn't have even shown up and the SRO had it under control.
Meanwhile, you said this kid has a resting heart rate of about
130, correct. He's having the worst day of his life. He just had 500 milligram edible.
Just so we reference, it's 50 per gummy. So it's a 500 in a little bag.
The two of them ate an entire bag.
Jeez.
So yeah, 250 per. And again, like 5 would wreck somebody at that.
Yeah.
That level, 50, 250 if they split it.
So they ate the entire bag because it was candy. And so this is all going on. And I believe it was the principal or the assistant principal. It was an administrator that had the bag. They had to go into the administrator's office and be like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how much drugs these kids had under your supervision. Where's it at? And she had it sitting underneath her big like metal tumbler. And the EMT said like she was trying to hide it.
There's no fucking way. Again, they care about their reputation and their career more than they care about the well-being of these kids. This is demonic. Hiding the evidence of how much drugs the kids took to know what to do with them for the sake of your reputation is fucked up. I am shocked.
And when he directly asked her for it, she like reluctantly gives it to him. And he investigates, sees that it's 500 milligrams in the bag. Okay, now he knows. He hands it back to her, takes the kids to the hospital. Comes back, and he's, taking notes. He wants to see the bag again to either take the bag or...
Let me guess, it's gone!
Take a picture of it. We don't know where the bag went.
Yeah, of course, it disappeared.
Oh. So the evidence disappeared.
Wait a second. I feel like the destruction intentional or unintentional, of evidence is like an ongoing theme with the City of Buffalo school system.
Yeah, no shit. It's a cover-up to protect these administrators. Yeah, obviously.
Whether it be video evidence or physical,
in my opinion,
evidence like this bag.
Richard, isn't
right? Video evidence. For those of you that weren't here and didn't see my coverage of this first section, there was a video recording of someone coming into the school and kidnapping a kid, and they stopped him later. And they destroyed the video camera footage of the dude trying to kidnap a kid. All right?
What's crime? Destruction of evidence? I believe there's something. I'm tisming right now because I believe New York State Penal Code has that.
Sounds like justice is being obstructed.
Now, so like that's
Weird,
pretty bad,
huh?
but like it's an indicator of the overall problem, right? So they're just not working with first responders in the way that they should. And all the teachers have told me this. They're not allowed to call 911. They have to do everything through the administration. And I interviewed another teacher who wanted to remain anonymous, so we're going to play that clip here in a second.
All right.
But has a story, and I believe I've shown you guys a video, so we don't have to watch it. We'll just play it for the audience.
When I taught at another school in the city,
oh shit,
the music teacher had a student that passed out cold. And this was an probably like a 6th grader.
If a kid passes out, you call the cops immediately. I don't even know what we're talking about.
Ran over to my room, the teacher, and she said, so-and-so just passed out on the floor. I can't wake him up. Come help. I went over there. I'm like,
okay,
we got to call the police.
Yeah, no shit.
So we call the rule is you have to call an administrator.
Oh my god.
Before you call police.
Oh
You have
lord.
to.
They all do this.
We call the administrator, and the administrator says, you are not calling anybody. We're going to call the mother and have her come over. And me and this teacher are like, what are you talking about? Like, we can't wake the kid up. Like, we need an ambulance here now. No. The principal came down to our room and stood there while this kid is passed out. Passed out. No ambulance, nothing.
Holy shit.
Do you think that's crazy? Mom finally shows up. Gosh, I don't even remember how it ended. I know Mom was motherfucking everybody. And shame on me. I was younger back then. But there's always this idea, like there's always this, you're always scared of like, you're going to get in literally.
Right. Yeah, you're scared. You're going to lose your job. You're going to get in trouble. Like, whatever. It's not an excuse, obviously, but holy shit.
What ruling the administrators have, but there's something that they do that you are scared shitless.
Yeah, they have a chokehold on this entire system. It's disgusting. And just in case people are unaware, if a kid is passed out, then there's a big chance that oxygen's not going to their brain properly. And it could fuck them up. Like, it could fuck them up for life. If it's left, like, just kind of just left there. Like, this is insane.
Do you remember what ended up happening with the girl? Like, why she passed out? I mean, did she get to the hospital eventually?
She did get to the mom brought her to the hospital. Yeah. And I remember she was back in the building the following week. So.
I mean, she was out of school for days after this.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they probably didn't double back to let you know what the medical issue was. But regardless, I mean, that girl could have been ODing on drugs and it took, 30 minutes, 45?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that, but if it was an overdose, she would die. If it was an overdose, she could have literally just died.
5 minutes to get mom, drive there from work, pick her up, drive her to the hospital rather than just calling the ambulance.
Wow. It was also the mom could take the kid to the hospital instead of the school needing to call the ambulance to protect their reputation. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was probably a good, I would say it was about 20 minutes. I think it was about 20 minutes. It was awful. Awful. Like, we could
And these are the people in charge of the next generation of children. Holy shit.
not wake this student up.
So, I mean, it took this kid an hour to get to the hospital when she lost consciousness and was unresponsive. And she didn't end up making it back to school till the following week.
Bro.
What I just don't understand is the incentive. Is it just the, whether it's
reputation,
cop sentiments, or just trying to make the school seem better than it is, or like it's functioning better than it is? Why do they feel like they just have What is their goal?
I truly believe, on my side, just the overview, stranger to it, haven't deep diving, it is, we need to look good. Look how good. Yeah, we had 17,000 calls, but half of those were just what were they called?
School other.
Yeah, school other, the information only.
It's small stuff. See, we're really safe. Yeah, miscellaneous. That we're really safe.
Yeah, sure.
You're good to go. Funding, however that works.
Yeah, it's definitely. It is absolutely. Fuck, this is crazy. Holy shit. It's just to save their reputation and shit, maybe to get more money, to get more students.
And you just keep doing that.
Yeah, and then that shithead lawyer that works for the school from Lipschitz Mathis or whatever the fuck that law firm is comes on the news and he's like actually the sheer volume of calls that they've contacted the police clearly shows that they're working great with law enforcement. I'm going to conveniently ignore the fact that 54% of the calls were listed as school other. So then we call them out.
God damn.
And that doesn't work. So then they get fucking John J. Flynn, I believe his name is.
Oh my God.
District attorney.
His middle name is Jizz.
And the news brings him
on. I know
and
that.
He fucking is like, well, actually, I was a district attorney, and I promise you that, the whole time, I realized that the dude was only getting charged with misdemeanors for assault and child endangerment, and then Rich came out and said that he was kidnapping, and then the DA, after having a bunch of backlash, magically was like, oh, shit, we are going to charge this guy with felony kidnapping.
What? It took a podcast to get this guy felonies? Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, maybe kidnapping should not be considered just a misdemeanor.
But, that had nothing to do with the podcast, and I would know because I'm a former DA. What the fucking news didn't tell you is Flynn also works for Lipschitz Mathis, or whatever the fuck that law firm is.
Oh my God.
Is directly working for the school board.
Oh my God, this is a nightmare. So the law firm that's working with the school board, that law firm had a lawyer that said it's not because of the podcast. You do not hate the media enough. They are the bad guys. They're the villains. And so is the fucking school system, as I think we're learning more and more. Holy shit.
The entire thing's bullshit and rigged.
So the only people that are talking...
And the craziest thing is, because of podcasts, because we live in 2025, we're able to get this shit out. All 7 swing states came together to stop this bullshit media machine. All 7 swing states, majority vote.
Talking out or speaking out in their favor are people who have a financial incentive to do so.
Correct. Financial and legal obligation to do so.
Just clarifying.
So
isn't that neat? Isn't it cool how the news left that part out, that he's working for the same law firm?
Obviously, because the news is okay. All right, let me tell you something. You could consider this as a golden rule in regards to the media. The media is dying. They hate that they're dying. They hate that they have no influence. So, you know what they do? They target influencers. The media hates influencers. They will do anything in their power to shit on influencers and discredit them, because currently influencers are waking people up in regards to how much they hate the news, and you don't hate the news enough. So the media will always work with the establishment to go against the influencers every time. That's why Joe Rogan was a number one villain during COVID, right? They slandered the fuck out of him, right? And they will do it every time. Every single time it is new media versus old media. The old media will try to slander the new media and discredit them every way that they possibly can.
That protects all the administrators. It's crazy the news would do that.
It's funny because Flynn also said that he didn't have any incidents where the school was covering anything up during his tenure at DA at the DA's office as the DA. But you know what, Nick?
It took me all of about 15 minutes to find out that not only was that a fucking lie, you can actually still go on change.org or change.gov and sign a petition to this day demanding that he step down as DA.
There is no shot this dude is talking and slandering random people on a podcast, calling out bullshit and protecting children. And this dude has a petition to remove him.
Because he refused to prosecute childhood sex crimes appropriately.
Oh my God, it goes full circle. It's a fucking cult. I am losing it. I am so out, bro. I don't, oh my God. the DEA, the defense attorney. Are you fucking kidding me? The defense attorney, the guy that's out here defending school sex crimes, is a guy who's known for defending sex crimes. You can't make this up. You literally can't make this shit up. I am so mad. I'm so mad. I'm mad for reasons that I don't actually want to tell you. All right, personal, real life reasons that I don't want to tell you. But holy shit, it's so annoying. Calm down, calm down. Open a bag of Doritos. Open a bag of Doritos. All right, we're gonna have a good fucking time. All right, don't look at his pedo stash.
Ha! That's the entire reason they wanted him to step down.
How many thousands of signatures does it have already?
It had 3,500 before I put it out to the internet. There's probably hundreds more because people went and also signed it just from mine. But it was 3,500 people legitimately from Buffalo that would have signed this thing, demanding that he step down.
So the 3,500 signatures were just from random people in Buffalo that know that this guy is covering up sex crimes, allegedly. Holy shit.
For not properly addressing childhood sex crimes.
Do you have like a single instance of those, just one of the stories?
So a lot of the story that it goes back to is in years prior when he was the DA, the Archdiocese, the Catholic Church operating in the area of Dubuque, had a priest or multiple priests that had been accused of childhood sex crimes, whatever, and he
send them to God, let the Lord sort them out.
He apparently did not do his due diligence in investigating and punishing those sex crimes.
What a piece of shit.
And I think the Archdiocese of Dubuque is like in a stage of bankruptcy right now because they've been sued so many times. But that being sued is a civil lawsuit,
right?
Not a criminal lawsuit. So that means that the parents, allegedly, if these kids were assaulted, we're having to go into the legal system and file and sue the church individually, and there was no criminal prosecution. And that's why they wanted this guy to step down, is because
That's insane. That's crazy. It's like, if you have a problem with this person raping children, why don't you just sue them?
was not doing his due diligence and punishing childhood sex crimes. So for him to come out and be like, yeah, I would have never done this as DA, it's bullshit. You did it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Also,
that's insane.
One of the specific things that I brought up happened during his tenure. One of the stories where there was a assault at a school pool, and the school principal, this happened 2 years ago while he was DA, and the school principal failed to not declare it. Oh my gosh, report it. Then a year later, the child that was the victim of it disclosed it to somebody else. Then it became an investigation. But guess what happens after a year?
These stories, I think that everyone knows someone that was taken advantage of in a school. All right? These stories are way too common. They're way too common. Holy shit. Someone was sexually assaulted in a pool and they just didn't report it? How do you not report these things? Like, people are trusting you to take care of their children. The most fragile and important part of society. And you are fucking them.
All physical evidence is gone. The video is erased and like recorded over because it's been a year. They only save it for like, let's say even 180 days. That's gone.
Yeah.
And that school principal wrote the DA and said, hey, I'm not going to come in for the subpoena that your office sent me because I did my own investigation and I don't really care.
That's a nightmare.
Sent a letter stating why they're going to refuse to respond to the subpoena while he was the district attorney.
I have a question.
Oh my God.
Do history videos on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to apply at Buffalo schools to be a history teacher with no degree in education or history, do you think that I would get hired?
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Wait.
Why is that?
Well, because
why wouldn't a guy who's a professional history teacher get... Why wouldn't? Why not? He sounds like the perfect guy to be a history teacher.
Because you don't have like a teaching degree.
Oh, so I don't have the proper training to be a teacher, yet they don't have any training to be an investigative detective, yet they can host their own investigations, determine that no crimes were conducted, and then not inform law enforcement, even though they're a mandatory reporter. That's what you're telling me.
I mean,
yikes, the hypocrisy. If you're an administrator in a school, you are the judge, jury, and executioner. Holy shit.
I mean, that's exactly what I would get out of this story. And it also happened during his tenure as DA, which goes against what he was talking about when he went on the news to open his big, fat, stupid mouth.
They're like a slam poetry duet.
Cody, look! What? Not at real.
I'm sorry, I can't watch the ad. I'm sorry. I can't. I have to see what
all
happened.
The crime that was conducted, and when the law enforcement officer showed up to investigate it, all the administration and teachers had gone home for the day, so he couldn't do his job.
You're joking. How is this happening? Oh my god, dude, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Yes, there's 2 new stories that have come out.
Oh Lord. See, but that's why it's important to make and shed light on this shit. Because you know what I'll tell you? You know who is watching this podcast? Every family in Buffalo is watching this podcast. And you know what they are doing? They're going to their children and they're telling their children, holy shit, do you know what's happening? And some of those children are saying, yeah, that shit happened to me. Yeah. My teacher told me not to tell you. Holy fuck. Buffalo, New York. God damn.
When was it? Okay, when was this?
Since our original.
This has been since. This is, while they're now facing intense scrutiny, this is what they're still up to.
We are like B-Day plus 22 or something right now.
So,
damn.
I'm going to tell you, okay. I think one that's more telling that is a better picture because it's all on body cam. So I was made aware of an incident that happened at a Buffalo school that happened. And I don't know the call number yet. So you can't even ask me about it. All I have is information from individuals that were there. School, police, EMT, not going to say who. Just saying that information was given to me by a couple different sources. And the information is that a sexual assault had occurred at the school, at some school. I haven't confirmed it yet, but I know that it happened because of the people that are telling me about it.
Okay.
Assault happened at a school in the city of Buffalo. Officers responded to that school. The officers asked the staff for information.
Right.
And
as they should, obviously.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. It was assault. It was just a normal assault. It was a 2 students had beaten up a janitor or somebody to that effect within the school. So the janitor was basically stomped pretty bad.
These like high school age kids?
I believe so.
Okay.
The janitor was stomped pretty bad and beaten up by these kids. Jumped. The officers go to the school.
You obviously report that shit.
They talk to the principal and say, hey, this is serious. We need the video
So
up.
you need to report this, 1, because, the janitor was beaten up and that's obviously unacceptable. And 2, these kids are dangerous to other people. Like, aside from just getting justice from the victim, these are 2 obviously violent people that have no problem beating the shit out of other people that are in a school with children of other people. Like, holy shit. They won't protect their own staff. They're not protecting the other kids in the class.
Of it. And also, we need to know these kids' names. And the school principal said, no. Not giving you anything.
What?
Not giving you the kids' names. And they're like, okay, they're suspects in a crime. They jumped somebody at your school. They attacked basically one of your staff. We need to know who these people are.
Right.
Even if we're not going to make an arrest and we go throughout the whole process and we get them counseling.
Yeah.
Something needs to start.
Absolutely. These are dangerous people. This could happen again.
The principal refused, called up legal counsel.
Oh. It's like the craziest thing is you're making it so obvious that you're on the wrong side. You are on the wrong side if you're calling legal counsel to protect people that could beat up and assault children in your school.
Said legal counsel also told me to tell you to kick rocks. I'm not going to do that. This is all on body cam.
Wow.
And then the officers had the wherewithal to say, hey, here's the supporting deposition. I want you to sign the supporting deposition stating that you are refusing to give me the names of the suspects that assaulted your staff because they're individuals that go to your school.
Holy shit.
And she signed it.
Wow! This has to be going even above the people in the administration. They have to go, it has to be something even above them. She's putting her reputation on the line to protect her reputation? There has to be some crazy, dark, evil shit going on that is making sure that kids get fucked up in schools. Like, I don't know, man. It's so disgusting. That's why I'll never be sending my kids to public school. It's not happening, by the way. I'm just letting you know. Either homeschooling or private schooling. There is no way in hell I am having it. My kid is going to be going to a public school. It's never going to happen. Literally never. This is unbelievable.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
so she wrote the deposition. I'm refusing per legal counsel, if I'm not mistaken. I'm refusing per legal counsel. At least I'm refusing to give you the names of the children, juveniles, 17, 18, who gives a shit, that assaulted one of my members of staff.
So they don't care about any staff, or it's just how
Insane.
Their reputation is all they give a shit about. Because they're not protecting their own, and they're not protecting the kids.
They're not protecting anybody. So now these two kids can go, they've got carte blanche. Why not go assault another staff member? Why not go assault some kids? Teachers.
I mean, that's why you have to punish people. That's why punitive action is so important. A, for justice, and B, and I think this is even more important, to prevent people from doing this again. Dude. It's like, I hear this every single time. I don't know why. This is like a new mentality on the left. Don't punish them. Don't punish them. Forgive. Bro, Jesus is a big forgiver. Jesus believed in justice. Okay? Like, you miss me with this whole bullshit. Oh my God. Mercy on the cruel is cruelty on the innocent. Like, what are we doing here?
Or the principal's not going to give any of my information away to the police. So there you go. Families that have their kids in schools, the principals are allowing juveniles that are assaulting grown adults to remain around your children with no recourse.
Yep.
If your kid's being bullied at a Buffalo public school and you're not getting the response that you think you require to address that issue, this is your red flag. You might want to get involved.
And I believe there's actually a couple of class actions right now against the Buffalo Public School
Yeah,
system.
there's now ads going around Facebook and ads getting...
Every scumfuck lawyer in all of Buffalo is toasting themselves right now. The Saul Goodmans of Buffalo, New York are literally having their bar mitzvahs. They are loving this. They are gathering names. They are prepping a class action 100%. And may this spread to the rest of America, because 1000% this shit's going on everywhere else. Like, Buffalo's lucky that they have the Unsubscribe podcast.
Mailed out by law firms that are basically asking people like, hey, this is apparently a prevalent issue. Get a hold of us if you want us to take a legal suit against Buffalo schools.
And this is...
I do have lawyer cousins in New York City, but no lawyer cousins in Buffalo. So I feel like it's out of their range.
I guarantee we've talked about it, but this has got to be way more. Buffalo's a great start.
Yeah, 1000% fucked.
Starting point, but
yeah, no one's shitting on Buffalo as a city. People's shitting on the school system.
Y'all need to rally too and figure out if this is happening in your districts and start expanding and asking for this information.
Yep,
because this is definitely nationwide thing.
I did even more digging on the Shane Cronin case, the alleged kidnapping at the magnet school with the museum.
Go on.
I have written testimonies from teachers that were there that day.
Oh God, that's the one that I talked about they talked about this in the previous video. I covered this already. This is where there was two kids, I think, that were kidnapped. They stopped them, but basically kidnapped from like a back door.
Oh, interesting. Blurred out.
They got a hold of me. And they told me that, one, they were taken aback and disgusted when they watched our podcast.
Yeah, no shit.
Because this individual...
Because we belched or because we were drinking?
No, because they were there that day and had to hear that there was an alleged thing.
Caesar's M.
They found out from us.
Everyone's thinking the same thing. Many such cases.
That there was an attempted kidnapping that day.
What
Not
the
from the administration. I have the Buffalo school.
Wow. Even the teachers didn't know there was an attempted kidnapping. How are they supposed to protect the kids when they don't even tell the teachers that this shit's going on? Like, they're covering it up from the news because they want to protect their reputation. They don't even tell the teachers.
Handbook and how they handle emergency situations.
Oh my God, it's a
the Buffalo School District has 3 states of emergency. They have shelter in place, lockout, and lockdown. Shelter in place is something for like inclement weather outside. Hey, there's a tornado or winds or a flood. It's not safe to leave the building. Stay inside.
Understandable.
Lock out is, hey, there's an external threat to the school that we're worried may come in. We're going to lock the exterior doors to the school so nobody can get inside. Lock down is, there's an interior threat to the school. All of the teachers need to take the kids in the classrooms, lock the doors to the classrooms, and then take a roll call so we can account for every child.
Oh, shit.
Going
Some
back
would
to the
call that
testimony.
foreshadowing.
Quote,
Wow.
during the active intruder gaining entry into the school building through the museum doors, school staff were never instructed to go on lockdown, but only shelter in place.
It's over. They're winning the lawsuit. It's over. Their literal rules are if someone invades the school, you go on lockdown. And they literally used the lesser protection. They're fucking cooked. It's literally over. Dead to rights.
Oh, well, this isn't a storm. Go on.
Certainly not a storm, especially for a grown man breaking into a school. That would be a lockdown situation where you lock the school doors.
Breaking into the school for the purpose of kidnapping 2 children.
Whether they knew that or not at the time, yes. Breaking in is an interior threat. They should have been on lockdown. Continuing the quote, I do know that the assistant principal was attacked by this man as he attempted to gain entry to the second floor hallway, which contains 3rd through 5th graders. After the police arrived, the intruder was apprehended in the museum. Nothing in regards to further safety precautions were taken or offered to the students or staff at School 59 that day. The children and staff were not released from the building, and the day continued as if nothing had happened. Parents were also not made aware of the incident until a letter went home with every student the following day. So yeah, they didn't tell the parents the day that it happened.
They didn't tell the parents. They didn't tell the teachers. They didn't lock it down appropriately. This is gross negligence. It is borderline malicious negligence. This is disgusting. I am disgusted. And I feel like we're only looking into them just like on happenstance because this podcast happens to be in Buffalo and the cop happens to be in Buffalo and they happen to start digging and this is the shit that they found. I bet you they have this in every county in all of America. I bet you have these stories.
They instead sent home a mass letter with all of the elementary school kids. So who knows if the parents even got those letters. I wish I knew what the letter said, but obviously I don't live in Buffalo, so that would be really hard for me to, get a copy. Oh wait, no, I'd have to fuck copy of the letter.
Oh, let's go. Wait, is this dude a Buffalo cop? Wait, how did this happen? Podcast based in Texas. Whatever.
The letter.
All right, let's go.
Dear parents and caregivers.
Dude, this guy's awesome, by the way. This dude's fucking amazing. Holy shit.
As you know, safety and the well-being of our students is a top priority on Tuesday.
Right, he's a Buffalo cop. All right.
February 11th.
That's how he was said. They were. Wow. Man, that caught me off guard.
You know what's really funny about letters like this? You can just say whatever the fuck you want.
I guess so. Hey, do these ones have untruths in them? Keep going.
Oh, we're going to get there. On Tuesday, February 11th, we had an incident where a man entered our school through the museum without permission.
Broke into the school. All right.
In response, the school was placed in a brief shelter in place.
Which is the wrong level of protocol that they needed. There is proof. There is documented, dated evidence that they did not follow protocol. It's over. It's over. It's over. They're dead.
So if you guys want to say that it's an untruth that you didn't go on lockdown, I have your letter from your fucking principal saying that you went into shelter in place, which is not the appropriate protocol.
Boo. Boo schools. Boo.
And we immediately notified the Buffalo police, who responded within minutes and arrested the man. The school is also using this as an opportunity to evaluate and reinforce its safety protocols,
which they didn't follow,
to help ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. District officials and Buffalo Public School Security...
Bro, when they said that, when Sun Tzu said that the book is more dangerous than the sword, he was talking about this man's fucking binder. This is what Sun Tzu was talking about.
Also met on Wednesday with the museum leadership to discuss the situation. Buffalo's Public Schools Crisis Prevention and Response Team and other support personnel have been and will continue to be available.
Pen, not book. Same idea. Same idea, all right.
To students and teachers. As parents, you may want to talk with your child as well. If your child exhibits any indications of emotional distress...
Someone in my chat just said that they just called their sister's friend from a Texas school district, and they said that they did the same thing, that his sister's friend overdosed and they didn't call for an ambulance. They instead spent time and called the parents instead. So, holy shit. It seems like this is like something of a epidemic of sorts. This is crazy.
We suggest that you listen to him or her. If they need to talk, answer their questions simply, honestly, and possibly over and over again. Please feel free to contact the school with any concerns or questions you may have. Thank you for your continued support. Sincerely, Principal Mark Shoemaker. So if you have questions about their concerns, they want you to contact them at the phone number 716-816-3370.
He just says the number on the podcast. How many calls do you think that school fucking got? Oh, Lord. Bro's name is Shoemaker. He should have made that his career instead of protecting children.
I think I would have concerns.
Dr. Charles Drew, Science Magnet, Buffalo School, number 59. So yeah, attempted kidnapping, didn't tell any of the parents, didn't go into lockdown while there was a grown man attempting to kidnap children inside the school.
Fighting assistant principals. Breaking into more classrooms.
According to this testimony of the teacher that was there, he actually made it into a classroom and destroyed the classroom with the teacher inside.
Oh my God.
Wasn't sure if there was kids in there or not, but regardless, that teacher who was in a classroom that this man broke into, opened the door because nobody told her to lock the doors because it
wasn't a lockdown, because it was a fucking stay inside. There's bad weather.
Go into lockdown.
Yeah.
Would have been an issue.
And that when they said that they called the police.
Wow. So they actually endangered their kids by not following the protocol.
Within minutes or something like that. That's all fucking lie too, right?
I don't know the exact response time, but the fact of the matter is everything that they can control, like, hey, go on to lockdown and lock your doors. There's a man in here trying to kidnap kids. They didn't do.
Wow.
And then they didn't tell the parents the gravity of the situation. They're like, oh yeah, there was an incident. We had to go into shelter in place.
This is despicable.
Didn't mention that he attempted to kidnap kids. Didn't mention to the parents that he assaulted a principal. Didn't do any of that shit.
Holy shit.
I mean, that can escalate so fastly. Just if that is a shooter or a situation like that, that's how you can see how bad that will get without announcing to all the administration somebody's in doing this. Instead they're
Yeah, this is a nightmare. Holy shit. Apparently the rest of the podcast is them talking about how they essentially advise you to send emails and tips to submit tips to these actual people and to submit tips to the government so that they can actually look into this shit. So I will of course link in the description this video so you can check that out in full completely. But apparently this is the evidence, and that's kind of what I was here for. So the rest is more just the tips. So you could just, if you want to see just the tip, you could go watch their video. But I wanted to cover the actual situation, and that's exactly what we did. Oh my God, it's somehow so much worse than I thought. Of course, link in the description. Support these guys. They are fucking fighting for good in a battle of good versus evil, which happens, by the way. Good versus evil sounds cringe and pathetic, but good versus evil is literally happening in front of your very eyes. Most people are just too blind to see it, but that's good versus evil. So lock up these motherfuckers. My day is ruined. Kill these freaking demons. All right, when I say demons, I mean literal demons. Of course, I'm not inciting violence or anything, but my wood chipper is. Thanks for joining. Hope you had a lovely day. Protect your fucking children. Notify as many people as you can. Publicize these stories as much as fucking possible. People need to know the shit that goes on in Harvard. People need to know the shit that's been going on in different school districts. All right, Mr. Clemson University professor that allegedly had exploited 20 minors and had child porn, or Michael E. Mann, a professor that's inciting violence against the president, or this individual, Vincent Weaver, who snuck into a school event disguised as an elderly woman on suspension for a sex toy falling out of his bag in class, who also allegedly groomed and sexually assaulted a child. There are way too many of these stories for it to just be a coincidence. There is an epidemic in the nation, and if you are not aware, you cannot fight it. So be aware and make other people aware. I don't generally like covering the super dark topics, but every once in a while, I feel like it needs to happen. Support the Unsubscribe podcast, of course, and I'll see you in the next video where hopefully we make fun of retards instead of demons. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.